Good afternoon, or should I say evening, morning. Morning? At any rate, I'm the Game Master. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Before we begin, there is something I must tell you. You see, my job is to draw you into this world with my voice and cards, which is why I believe it best for you to play with the sound on. In fact, I insist on it. However, as you can see, my voice is subtitled, so you can always read along as well. Now then, are you ready? Let's begin. Welcome to Voice of Cards. You are about to take the first steps of your adventure. Through a realm of sword and sorcery you will travel, battling bloodthirsty monsters as you strive to realize your ambitions. I have every faith you will accomplish great things here. I am merely a witness to your exploits. Now then, your departure draws nigh. May your journey be a safe one. We begin in a cave. The surrounding rocks are slimy with damp. It feels as if some foul creature could leap out from the shadows at any moment. Yet in this horrible place gathers a fellowship of 3 adventurers. One is a young woman. You can tell just by looking at her, she enjoyed a good upbringing. Another is a stoic warrior. He stands at the ready, scanning his surroundings for any sign of threat. Last but not least is the old man. He has a sagely air and gazes into the darkness stretching out before him. These adventurers seek a certain treasure hidden in this cave. An iron door towers before you. It has rather conspicuous handles. The stoic man takes hold of the handles and pulls as hard as he can, but the door doesn't so much as budge. The stoic man winds his leg back and lets fly a powerful kick into the door. As his foot connects, the door trundles to the side. So it was one of those sliding contraptions. Something leaps out at the fellowship from the darkness. These adventurers have seen their fair share of battle and defeat their attackers with ease. As the trio approaches the treasure chest, an awful rumbling resounds deep in the cave. "You shall not have it," a voice growls. Before the wary trio appear creatures the likes of which they've never seen. Lucky. Good work. The young woman edges around the monster's bulk to stand before the treasure chest. There is treasure inside, no doubt about it, but it's locked tight. The woman slides the simple key into the lock. The chest clicks open. Inside is what appears for all the world to be an ordinary medicine bottle. At last, we've retrieved the royal treasure, the old man says. The woman and warrior exchange a nod. Their quest complete, the triumphant trio put the cave behind them. This is Castle Advent. Queen Nilla reigns over the kingdom from within its walls. In the crowded audience chamber jostle all manner of knights, adventurers, and bounty hunters. The white-robed adventurers stand close to the throne. A palace guard calls over the tumult, "Be silent. Her Royal Majesty graces us with her presence." The cacophony ceases the moment Queen Nilla enters the chamber. Seated upon the throne, the queen faces the crowd. Her lips part. "Thank you all for heeding my call to slay the dragon. Whatever it takes to defeat this reawakened evil, I ask that you do it. Whomsoever conquers this beast will be honored for ages to come and handsomely rewarded." At that, the gathered crowd cheers loud enough to shake the castle's very foundations. "Leave the dragon to us, Your Majesty," say the white-robed adventurers, as if the beast's demise at their hands is assured. "Indeed, you did well to reclaim the royal treasure," the queen replies. "I thank you, for my stomach becomes most upset without it. So the treasure is a staple of the royal medicine cabinet. It puts my mind at ease to know the Ivory Order offers its aid in slaying the dragon. The trio are disciples of the Ivory Order, a charitable organization beloved the realm over. Indeed, anyone would think this illustrious trio the heroes of our tale, but they'd be wrong. So we just gotta slay the dragon and we'll be drowning in gold. The man trails off, drooling over unknowable fantasies. Beside him, a strange creature lets out a chirping coo. Pay attention, because this is important. There he is, or there you are, I should say, the hero of our tale. A humble bounty hunter. You love little in this realm more than coin. A seemingly tedious fellow who doesn't hesitate to claim the title of hero for yourself. When you heard about the quest to slay the dragon, it was the promise of reward that lured you to the castle. Now then, if you wish to officially register for the hunt, see me so I can get your signature. You wonder why you need to sign anything, but head for the guard anyway. Shall we? The Ivory Order trio stands before you. They seem not the most approachable of parties, but... You inquire about their identities. We are disciples of the Ivory Order. It is our duty to aid the realm and its people however we can. The Order's principal focus is developing medicine to distribute to people through... They begin blathering an answer to a question you didn't even ask. Sensing a long lecture ahead, you seize on the first chance to extricate yourself from their presence. You try to speak to Queen Nilla. Figures a nobody bounty hunter can't just walk up to a queen and start chatting like they're best friends. "Sign here," says the guard, handing you a pen and paper. you sign your name. A fine name. After you've signed, the guard motions to the strange creature beside you. You sign your companion's name as well. Mar. Mar, your friend and sometimes traveling companion. Though he can't speak the human tongue, he seems to understand it well enough. Thank you. Now we'll know what to have engraved on your tombstones. Can't ask the dead what name to mark their grave with, after all, the guard chortles. You want the reward as badly as you don't want to die. You figure you better make some strong friends. Offer to join forces with the Ivory Order trio? We select few are sufficient to defeat the dragon. We require no additional aid, and we certainly don't require the aid of a no-name wastrel. With that, the trio takes their leave of the castle. I'll let the Order handle this. Me, I'm heading home. Before you even open your mouth to ask him to team up, he cuts you off. Thanks, but no thanks. You ask him to team up, but he refuses angrily. I ain't splitting the reward with nobody. You weren't planning on sharing either, so you don't try to change his mind. Never know what you might hear that'll lead you in the right direction. The man wanders off somewhere, muttering to himself. You'll need tough gear, the man says, wandering off. Let us depart. We have a realm to save. He grabs his less than enthused colleague by the wrist and drags her off. You catch a glimpse of the terrified look on her, and then the two disappear out of the audience chamber. No way am I adventuring with anyone who keeps that sort of creepy company, he says. I am one of the guards charged with the castle's protection. I take not a single step from my post. I am one of the guards charged with the castle's protection. I'll leave the dragon slaying to you adventurers. You've yet to find any help for your quest. Things don't look that reassuring as they are, but the decision is up to you. In the end, you set out, just the two of you, to hunt the dragon. How may I help you? The proprietress inquires. Will that be all? The proprietress asks. A weapons merchant accosts you in the street. Despite your best efforts to mind your own business, he speaks to you in a voice barely above a whisper. You want the most powerful weapon there ever was? He conspicuously checks his surroundings before revealing this weapon of apparent renown to you. To hear him tell it, this is a legendary weapon, and one of its kind at that. You can smell the scam a mile away. And yet the aura of this weapon does have something of the legendary about it. You open your coin purse only to find you don't have 20,000 gold pieces. No money, no sale. He tucks the weapon away once more. The old man kindly warned you of the dangerous monsters outside of town. The door is shut tight. You spy a keyhole on it, suggesting the existence of a corresponding key. The child says you should see Nexton as soon as you leave the castle town. You peek inside the carriage shop only to hear the owner call out that they're closed. Guess you won't be making use of them after all. Before you stands a sign calling for people to join the hunt for the dragon. Earlier, you saw the bit about the handsome reward for whoever slays the dragon, and hightailed it to the castle. A woman stares at the sign, transfixed. Her face curls into a scowl as she notices. "Monster!" the woman cries, and flings magic at Mar. Startled by the spell, Mar grows dizzy. You gather the dizzy Mar in your arms and glare at the woman. "This ain't a monster," you growl, as the woman snarls over you, "I hate monsters." The two of you bicker for quite a while. In the end, the woman admits she may have jumped to conclusions, but stubbornly refuses to apologize. Inwardly, you call her unsavory names as your attention shifts to a different topic of conversation. Turns out she really hates the dragon and would love to take him down with her own two hands. But she knows she's no match for him alone, so she's at a loss for what to do. When you tell her you're after the same thing, she squints down her nose at you. "Fine," she says. "I can help you." She's a little annoying, but you are looking for quest companions. "I only want to see the dragon dead. I don't care about..." You overhear her remarks and grin without thinking. Then you don't care about getting a share of the reward. That suits you perfectly. You happily join forces with the black-clad woman. She introduces herself as Melanie. She tells you she is a witch, but says nothing of why she hates monsters or what grudge she bears against the dragon. "How may I help you?" the proprietor inquires. Will that be all? The proprietor asks. The woman tells you she's so terrified of what might happen if the dragon attacks the town, she hasn't been able to eat. Welcome to Nexton, hails a man. You try asking the man if he knows anything about the dragon. The man's eyes widen. He leans close. Welcome to Nexton, he whispers in your ear. The man helpfully advises you take the opportunity to purchase equipment and curatives while you are in town. A woman sits hunched over by the side of the road. She's sprained her ankle and needs you to take her to the nearby apothecary. You try to lift the woman into your arms, but the weight's too much for you to bear. You lay the woman back down where you found her and mutter a quiet farewell before turning to leave. Upon seeing that, Melanie snaps. What kind of person are you? Ain't like it's my fault she's hurt, you whine like a child. Ignoring you, Melanie gingerly helps the woman up. Mar bends so the woman can get on his back, and the two of them head off in search of the apothecary. You watch them walk away for a moment before following, complaining to yourself about what a waste of time this is. You arrive at the apothecary. After taking a curative, the woman begins hopping up and down. Nothing holds a candle to Ivory Order medicine. She thanks you and pulls something from her breast pocket. You've helped someone, albeit not quite out of the goodness of your own heart. It might be a good idea to do that again, should you come across anyone else in need of assistance. The girl says if you follow this road northwest for a bit, you'll come to Thryston. On your way to defeat the dragon, are you? The innkeeper gives you a room free of charge in a show of support for any and all who wish to defeat the dragon. Apparently, a monster researcher lives in Thriston and might know something about the dragon. As your eyes roam everywhere but the path you walk, you barrel right into someone. When you turn to see who it is, you see the Ivory Order trio from the castle. Winifred, are you all right? The sagely old man asks the woman, voice full of concern. I'm fine, the woman called Winifred replies. Thank you, Hedwyn. Berwin, the old man calls, turning to their stoic companion. He jerks forward, as if to defend Hedwyn and Winifred. The trio advances on you. How dare you treat disciples of the Ivory Order with such disrespect? You grab your foot, wailing about how much it hurts, demanding the Ivory Order trio give you money to see a physician. Berwin pokes at your foot, proving nothing is actually broken. Muttering a half-hearted apology, you try to, but that's when you notice something in. Looks like you accidentally grabbed Winifred's coin purse when you ran into her. Thief, bellows Berwin, drawing his weapon. Guess you've got to fight your way past. And fight. Excellent. Don't worry, the coffin car is down, but they're still alive. The Ivory Order trio looks at you like they can't believe such a weakling would even try to hunt down them. Taking pity on your ineptitude, the Ivory Order trio uses their magic to heal you. We mustn't tarry any longer. To the monster researcher of Thriston with us, Hedwyn urges his companions and the trio depart. Aimless wandering can be fun, but if you want purpose and direction, I'd suggest sticking to the path. Lying in the grass, you find an old telescope. You figure a look at the path ahead can't hurt, and pick it up. Peering through the lens, you see something in the distance, but you can't tell exactly what. All you know is there's something up ahead. You should be able to tell for certain what it is if you get closer. Drawing upon your courage, you toss the janky telescope aside and charge ahead with your friends. But what you saw was only an old woman. When you realize this, you try to put on the brakes, which sends you and your companions tumbling over one another into a heap on the ground. A concerned look on her face, the old woman hands you a bottle of medicine. That was lucky. About the enemy. You can't walk on water. Congrats. And 5. That was lucky. bearing very solid-looking nuts, whipped to and fro in the force of the gale. This doesn't bode well for you. One of the nuts flies off the tree and smacks you right on the head. The pain brings tears to your eyes. Congrats. Pitch black inside the cave. Who knows what dangers lurk within? Maybe you should prepare first. Light can't reach the furthest depths of the cave. It may be impossible to proceed without a torch. Taking no heed of any danger, you press on. The cave is dark and dangerous, Are you sure you want to keep going without a torch? Are you sure you want to keep going without a torch? Perhaps you should use your torch If you don't have a torch, pray consider turning back. In the darkness, you hear the skittering sounds of movement. You strain to see and make out the shape of a grotesque, otherworldly creature. Utter terror knocks you off your feet. You feel your consciousness slip away. When you come to, you find yourself outside the western cave. Seems like Melanie and Mar carried you here. If you're set on exploring the caves, might I suggest you invest in a torch? They've got them at the item store in town and everything. About the enemy. Figuring it's best not to go looking for trouble, you decide to detour around it. Still, you can't help wondering what that thing was. You kick a rock down the road, muttering about what jerks those three from the Ivory Order are. Cut it out, chides Melanie. She warns you your anger will only come back to bite you in the rear. You grumble, but your sulking is cut short when out of the thicket leaps a monster. The rock you kicked must have hit it because it is really mad. Brace yourself for battle. something comes rocketing down from the mountaintop. There and gone in a flash. What was that? Hey, you all right? You call out to the crumpled humanoid figure before you. But when you reach out to turn whoever it is over, you realize it's a monster. You scramble up and flee. The monster calls forth its fellows. Out from beneath the rocks they crawl, salivating over their prey. There's no avoiding a fight now. Good work. I thought it was a person, you try to explain, rushing to catch up with your friends. Fortune favors the bold. Let's do this. up a scrap of paper dropped by some manner of monster. It has a message scrawled on it in crude lettering. Clearly, whoever dropped this message did not want to forget where the stolen treasure is hidden. You stash the scrap of paper in your pack and resolve to keep an eye out for the treasure on your travels.